What's good, everybody? In 2K23, we're taking Nikola Jokic and putting him on a different team every year. The goal of this video is to see how many NBA championships Jokic can win in 10 seasons. But there's a catch. Every year that Nikola Jokic either wins an MVP or an NBA title, Jokic then gets to decide what team he goes to next. But if the Joker fails to win one of those two things, then we spin the random wheel of NBA teams to decide the Joker's fate. So here we go. Obviously, in year number 1, Jokic is on the Nuggets. The team that is in the finals in real life is actually picked to finish only 11th in the NBA in 2K. So it will be interesting to see how Jokic fares. And in terms of wins and losses, things are not looking too good for the Nuggets in season 1. And in year number 1, Luka wins the MVP award. Now, the Joker did make All-NBA first team, and he had a heck of a season, averaging 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. So he did average a triple-double. But his team really struggled as they're only the 10 seed. They finished below 500 with a record of only 40 and 42. Now, they do have to win this game if they want to stay alive. It looks like they are going to blow the Clippers out in this first game as they win by almost 30. Then we'll be taking on the Timberwolves in the next play-in game. Let's go ahead and simulate it and see what happens. And they do win and they advance. But now they'll be taking on the number 1 seeded Golden State Warriors. So unfortunately, I do not feel too confident that they will be advancing, but it looks like they're actually going to advance 4-2. And so far in the playoffs, the Joker's doing even better than he did in the regular season. He averaged 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists in that first round. So the dream is still alive for the Joker in this first season, but it does look like they are going to get eliminated by the Pelicans in the second round, meaning the dream of winning the title is dead for the Joker, meaning it's time to spin the random wheel and let the 2K gods decide where the Joker's going next, and it's going to be the 76ers, meaning now Jokic gets to team up with James Harden and Joel Embiid in Philly. Might be hard for him to win MVP on this team, but in the first game of the season, in that game, Jokic had 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists. Okay, though, Jokic has proven me wrong. He wins MVP this year, averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Philly also gets the number 1 seed. I would be shocked if they did not win the NBA title. Jokic is already going to be able to pick his next team, but they do get eliminated in the conference finals by the Boston Celtics. In the closeout game, Jokic almost had a triple-double, but we are now 0-2 on our first 2 seasons in Jokic winning a title. The Joker decided he'd be taking his talents to LA. He would be teaming up with Anthony Davis and DeJounte Murray, who's now on the roster. In his first game as a Laker, Jokic would absolutely dominate as they couldn't stop him from getting to the rim. And in his first game as a Laker, not only would they get the win, but Jokic would once again almost have a triple-double where he had 22 points, 14 rebounds, and 9 assists. Unfortunately, though, he was not able to double up on MVPs, and he took a step back this year as he was only on All-NBA second team, but he did average 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, so that's still solid. The Lakers would get the 2 seed where they'd be taking on Sacramento. Again, if Jokic wants to pick his team, he's going to need to advance to the NBA Finals and win the title, but they did not as they were eliminated in the first round, upset by the 7 seed. In that round, Jokic only averaged 18 points. The rest of his stats were good. Doesn't seem like LA was quite a fit for him. So with that being said, it's time to go back to the NBA team wheel and let the 2K gods decide his fate again, and it looks like Joker's going to Phoenix. Jokic doesn't win a title with this roster, then I don't know if he ever will. He's currently 0-3 so far. In this season, not only did Jokic not win the MVP or any major awards, but the Suns would actually get eliminated in the play-in game, where Jokic only had 17 points on less than 50% shooting and 0-5 from 3. I mean, again, Jokic's numbers were solid this season, but something's missing from Jokic's career up to this point, and it is an NBA championship. This next season will already mark the halfway point through this simulation, and now it looks like he's going to the Miami Heat, and oh my goodness, the Heat are cracked. They got 97 overall Jokic, they got Kevin Durant, they got Jaren Jackson Jr., Tyler Hero, but once again, Jokic would not be able to win an MVP award. Jokic's Heat would finish first in the Eastern Conference with a record of 58-24. If they don't win the title this year, I'm going to be in complete shock, and I'm in complete shock. They lose in 6 games to the 8-seeded Boston Celtics, and in the closeout game, Jokic played 32 minutes, but only had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists on 2 for 5 from the field. But I do know that once again, Jokic doesn't get to pick what team he's going to, and now he's getting stuck in Detroit. And the Pistons don't even have Cade Cunningham anymore, so it's just going to be him and Jaden Ivey pretty much. Now, as could be predicted, this season was a complete disaster. Jokic once again winning no NBA awards, where he was able to make it to All-NBA first team again, but his team was so bad, finishing with a record of 35-47. They came nowhere near the NBA playoffs. meaning that once again, Jokic is yet to win an NBA title in this simulation. So we went ahead and spanned the wheel again to decide where he'd be going next, and now it looks like he's headed to Boston. So now we got 99 overall Jason Tatum and 98 overall Jokic on the same squad. I wish I had more highlights of Jokic to show, but this simulation has definitely turned out interesting to say the very least. Once again, Jokic is making all NBA first teams, but somehow the Celtics didn't even make the playoffs. They would finish with a record of 34 and 48. Tatum only averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists a game. We're seeing that if Jokic wants to win a title, he's definitely going to need more help. So it's time to hit the wheel again to see if we can make that happen. Looks like Jokic is going to go into Oklahoma City, to the point where there are a lot of simulated players in the league, but Jokic has a pretty good squad as he is a 91 overall player and a 90 overall point guard. So Jokic does have the potential for a good season here. But Jokic does win most valuable player this season. He only averaged 15, 6, and 5 though. He makes all NBA first team as well. Taking a look here at the league leaders in points, it looks like there was a rule change making it so there was no shot clock, so there's less shots per game, meaning that players are averaging less stats. But we gotta ride with it in this simulation. So Jokic did win MVP and his Oklahoma City Thunder got the 4 seed. Let's simulate the playoffs here and see if Jokic can finally get his coveted NBA title. Oh no, he can't. Jokic was eliminated in 7 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves do have Luka Doncic, so that makes sense. In game 7, Jokic had 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. But the good news is, heading into season number 9, Jokic gets to pick where he wants to play next. We're gonna go in here and see who's ranked number 1 in the power rankings. It looks like it's the Golden State Warriors. They got Sharif Cooper, a point guard, of 99 overall, Jason Tatum, 91 overall, Chet Holmgren. And we're actually gonna put Jokic on that squad because at this point we are literally desperate for him to win 1 title. Oh my goodness, Josh Giddey's the best player in the world. And at this point in his career, Jokic is still a consensus All-NBA first team player. Remember, there was a rule change, so there's no shot clock, but he is averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. So he's still doing it all for his team, and the Golden State Warriors do get the 3 seed as they finish with a record of 47 and 35. We take it on the Houston Rockets, who are the 6 seed, and the Rockets are pretty loaded, so this could be a very dangerous series. We're gonna go ahead and simulate it and see what happens, and oh my god, they got swept. You guys saw it. Once again, another year where Jokic doesn't win MVP, and he's not gonna win the title, meaning heading into our last year of the simulation, we have to spin the wheel one more time, and he's going to New Orleans. This is the last chance for Jokic to try and win an NBA title, as he's 0 for 9 in this sim, but he's dropped to only a 95 overall, and the rest of his team does not look too promising in terms of help. Though I do see a little bit more wins on the board than in previous seasons, but once again, Josh Giddey is winning another MVP, this time for the Orlando Magic. But in this season, Jokic is not on NBA first team, not on NBA second team. In fact, he's been dropped all the way to NBA third team. However, his team is in the NBA playoffs, where they'll be taking on Golden State. Hopefully, they stand a puncher's chance. They win game 1, lose game 2, lose game 3, lose game 4. This is it, fellas. Has the potential to be the last game of Jokic's career in this simulation, and Golden State is jumping out to a hot lead, and they do end up losing in 5 games. Jokic's career turned out to be an absolute mess, changing teams every season. Good thing he doesn't have to do that in real life.